The glass shattered against the wall inches from Amara's face, red wine dripping down like blood. She pressed herself against the cold kitchen counter, heart hammering, as Derek's footsteps came closer. His breath reeked of alcohol and rage. "You think you can hide money from me?" His voice was terrifyingly calm. "You think I wouldn't find out about your little secret account?" Amara's escape fund. 15 months of skipping lunches, walking instead of taking the bus, saving every spare dollar from her freelance graphic design work. $3,000 that was supposed to be her ticket to freedom. And somehow, Derek had found it. "Derek, please," she whispered, knowing it was useless. Begging only made it worse. He grabbed her braids, yanking her head back. "Please what? Please forgive you for being a lying bitch? Please let you steal from me." His free hand connected with her cheek, the slap echoing through the small apartment. Amara tasted blood. She'd bitten her tongue. Again. She closed her eyes and went somewhere else in her mind. Somewhere safe. Somewhere he couldn't touch her. Before we dive into how Amara escapes this nightmare and finds safety in the most unexpected place, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This channel brings you the most intense cross-cultural love stories that'll have you on the edge of your seat, and trust me, you don't want to miss what happens next. Now, let's get back to Atlanta, where Amara is about to make the most dangerous decision of her life. A knock on the door made Derek freeze. "Everything all right in there?" A neighbor's voice, concerned. Derek's entire demeanor changed like flipping a switch. He released Amara, smoothed his shirt, and opened the door with a charming smile. "Hey, Mr. Patterson. Yeah, everything's fine. Just dropped a glass." You know how clumsy Amara can be. Amara stood behind him, silent. She could have screamed, could have asked for help, but she'd tried that before. Derek always convinced them it was nothing. Always made her look dramatic or crazy. And afterward, when they were alone again, he made her pay for embarrassing him. Mr. Patterson looked past Derek, saw Amara's face. Their eyes met. He knew. She could see it. But what could he do? "All right then. Just checking. You folks have a good night." The door closed. Derek turned back to her, and the mask dropped. "You're lucky I'm in a good mood. Clean up this mess."
"And Amara?"
"That $3,000? I transferred it to my account. Consider it a lesson in loyalty." He left. Amara heard his car start, the engine fading into the night. Only then did she let herself cry. Only then did she sink to the floor among the broken glass and spilled wine and finally admit the truth. If she didn't leave now, he was going to kill her eventually. Maybe not tonight. Maybe not next month. But one day, his hand would hit too hard, or she'd fight back, and it would end with her in a morgue. She had 72 hours. Derek was going to his brother's place in Savannah for a long weekend. 72 hours to disappear. Amara worked fast. She called in sick to her part-time job at the bookstore. She took her grandmother's gold bracelet, the only thing of value she owned, to a pawn shop and got $200. She had another $100 hidden inside a tampon box, the one place Derek would never look. She changed her email, opened a new bank account under a slightly different version of her name, Amara Johnson instead of Amara J. Thompson. Bought a prepaid phone from a gas station. She memorized addresses of women's shelters, but decided against them. Derek had resources. He worked in tech, had friends who could track things. Shelters were temporary, anyway. She needed to vanish completely. She bought a one-way Greyhound ticket to Chicago. She'd never been there.
Didn't know anyone there.
That's why it was perfect. On the third day, she packed one small duffel bag, left her keys on the kitchen counter, walked out of the apartment, and didn't look back. Chicago hit her like a slap of ice. It was February, and the wind cut through her thin Atlanta jacket like it wasn't even there. But Amara didn't care. Cold was better than dead. She found a studio apartment in a nice building in River North. The landlord, an older white woman with kind eyes, looked skeptical when Amara offered to pay 3 months' rent up front in cash. "Honey, are you in some kind of trouble?" "I'm starting over," Amara said firmly. "Clean slate. No trouble. Just need a chance. Something in her voice must have convinced the woman because she took the cash and handed over the keys. The apartment was small but clean. 20th floor, good security, doorman downstairs. Safe. For the first time in 2 years, Amara felt like she could breathe. On her 4th day in Chicago, she met her neighbor. She was carrying groceries, fumbling with her keys, when the elevator door opened and a man stepped out. Amara's breath caught. He was tall, probably 6'2", with the kind of face that belonged in movies. Korean, she thought, based on his features. Expensive suit. Dark hair styled perfectly. And a tattoo on his hand. Korean characters she couldn't read. "You're in 2007, he said. Not a question. A statement. Amara's stomach dropped. How do you know that? I'm in 2009. Next door. He extended his hand. I'm Jun Kang. She hesitated, then shook it. His grip was firm but not aggressive. Amara. Amara, he repeated, like he was testing the sound of it. His eyes moved over her face, and she knew what he was seeing. The fading bruise on her cheek she'd tried to cover with makeup. The way she held herself, ready to run. The fear she couldn't quite hide. "Welcome to the building," he said quietly. Then he walked past her to his door and disappeared inside. Amara stood there for a full minute, heart racing. Something about the way he'd looked at her. Like he'd seen straight through every wall she'd built. What she didn't know was that Jun had been watching her since the moment she moved in. Not in a creepy way. He owned the building. Well, his organization owned it, but that was semantics. And the building had security cameras everywhere. He'd seen her arrive with one small bag and cash. Seen the way she checked over her shoulder constantly. Seen her jump at sudden noises. He recognized the signs. He'd seen them before. In his penthouse, Jun pulled up the security footage and made a call. "Miho, I need a background check. Amara Johnson moved into 2007 4 days ago. I want to know everything." His second-in-command, a woman who'd been with him for 15 years, didn't question the request. "On it, boss." Jun stared at the screen showing Amara's door. Something about her reminded him of someone. His sister. Soo-jin. The sister who died 8 years ago because Jun had been too young, too powerless to protect her from the boyfriend who'd put her in the hospital 3 times before finally killing her. He'd sworn then that he'd never be powerless again. He'd built an empire. Money, influence, people who jumped when he spoke. All of it so that next time he could actually do something. And now there was a woman next door with bruises she tried to hide and fear in her eyes. Jun made a decision. She was under his protection now, whether she knew it or not. 24 hours later, Miho called back. Amara Thompson, goes by Johnson now. 26. Graphic designer, freelance. From Atlanta. Mother deceased, no father on record, no siblings. And boss, there's a flag. Her ex-boyfriend, Derek Matthews. 31. 2 assault charges, both pleaded down. Multiple domestic disturbance calls to their address over the past year. He reported her missing 3 days ago. Hired a private investigator.
Eunice Joe-Tizent.
He's looking for her. Actively. The PI has been checking women's shelters, bus stations, train stations. He hasn't expanded the search to Chicago yet, but it's only a matter of time. Find out everything about Derek Matthews. Where he works, where he lives, who he knows. I want leverage. And Miho, put a watch on this building. If anyone comes around asking about Amara, I want to know immediately. Boss, is this personal? It's personal. Amara settled into a routine over the next few weeks. She did freelance design work from home, picked up a part-time job at a coffee shop 3 blocks away, always paid in cash. She kept to herself. Didn't make friends. Didn't trust anyone. Except she kept running into Jun. He held the elevator for her. Carried her groceries when he saw her struggling. Small gestures that should have felt normal but didn't because nothing in Amara's life had been normal for so long. One night, she woke up screaming from a nightmare. Derek's hands around her throat, his voice in her ear. She sat up in bed, drenched in sweat, gasping for air. A knock on her door. gentle but firm. She looked through the peephole. June, wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt, looking concerned. She opened the door a crack.
Ai fine.
You're not fine. I heard you scream. His voice was soft. Can I come in? Every instinct said no. Don't let men in.
Don't trust.
Don't let your guard down. But something about June felt different. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe it was loneliness. Maybe it was the way he stood there, not pushing, just offering. She opened the door. June stepped inside, but didn't move further than the small entryway, respecting her space. Nightmares? How did you know? I get them too. He met her eyes. Different reasons, probably. But I know that sound. That kind of fear. They stood there in the semi-darkness, two damaged people recognizing each other's pain. You're safe here, June said quietly. On this floor. In this building. I promise you that. You can't promise that. You don't know. I know more than you think. He held up his phone, showing her a photo. A beautiful Korean woman with a bright smile. My sister. Soo-jin. Her boyfriend killed her 8 years ago. Beat her to death while I was in another country on business. By the time I got back, she was gone. Amara's breath caught. I'm sorry.
So am I.
But I learned something from losing her. I learned that I never want to be powerless again. And I learned to recognize the signs. His eyes moved to the fading bruise on her temple, the one she thought she'd hidden well. You're running from someone. Someone who hurt you. And I'm telling you right now, as long as you're in this building, you're under my protection. Nobody touches you. Nobody hurts you. Understand? Why would you do that? You don't even know me. Because I couldn't save Soo-jin. But I can save you. It should have sounded arrogant. Controlling. Like Derek's promises that had slowly become threats. But June's voice held something different. Conviction.
Truth. Pain that matched her own.
I don't need saving, Amara said, but her voice wavered. I just need to be left alone. Then I'll leave you alone. But I'll be here. Next door. If you need anything. He started to go, then paused. And Amara? The nightmares get better. Eventually.
Not gone.
But better. He left. Amara closed and locked her door, then slid down to sit on the floor. For the first time since leaving Atlanta, she cried. Really cried. Not from fear or pain, but from something else. Relief, maybe. Or hope. The possibility that maybe, just maybe, she might actually be safe. The next morning, she found a bag outside her door. Soup from a Korean restaurant. Fresh bread. A note in neat handwriting. For when nightmares steal your appetite.
Yunya.
Amara stood there holding the bag, something warm unfurling in her chest. Something dangerous. Something like trust. And that's when everything changed. Because 2 days later, walking home from the coffee shop, Amara felt it. Eyes on her. She turned and saw a man across the street. White guy, baseball cap, camera with a long lens. Taking pictures of her. Drop a like if you're already invested in Amara and June's story, and comment below telling me if you think she's really safe or if Derek's about to destroy everything. Make sure you're subscribed because the next part is where things get really intense, and you absolutely need to see what June does when he finds out Amara's in danger. Amara ran. She ran the 3 blocks back to her building, heart pounding, vision blurring with panic. The doorman recognized her terror and let her in immediately. She jabbed the elevator button frantically. The elevator opened. June stepped out, took one look at her face, and his expression went cold. Not cold toward her. Cold like winter. Like death. What happened? Not a question. A command. Someone was taking pictures of me. Following me. Her voice shook. It's starting. He found me. Derek found me. June pulled out his phone, made a call.
Spoke rapid Korean.
Then he took Amara's arm, gentle but firm, and guided her to his apartment. You're staying here until we figure this out. Don't argue. She didn't have the strength to argue. June's apartment was 3 times the size of hers. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Chicago. Expensive furniture. art on the walls. But Amara barely noticed. She was focused on Jun, on the way he moved through the space with lethal precision, making calls, giving orders in English and Korean, orchestrating something she didn't fully understand. "What are you doing?" she finally asked. Jun turned to face her. "I'm doing what I should have done the day you moved in. I'm protecting you."
Who are you?
"Really? I told you. I'm Jun Kang." Nobody lives in a penthouse like this and talks to people the way you talk to people unless they're someone. "So, who are you?" Jun was quiet for a moment, then said, "I'm someone with resources. Someone with reach. Someone who can make problems disappear." He met her eyes.
I'm dangerous, Amara.
"But not to you. Never to you." Are you in a gang? The Mafia? "I'm in logistics. Import-export. What that means in practice is complicated." He moved closer. "But what matters right now is that I can keep you safe. And I can make sure Derek Matthews never puts his hands on you again. Will you let me do that?" "I don't want you to kill him," Amara said quickly. "I just want him to leave me alone. I just want to be free. Then that's what you'll get. Freedom. Safety. A life where you don't have to look over your shoulder." Jun's voice softened. "But I need you to trust me."
Can you do that?
Amara thought about the last 2 years. About Derek's promises that had turned into prisons. About trusting the wrong person and almost dying for it. But she also thought about Jun's sister. About the way he'd looked when he talked about being powerless. About soup left outside her door and nightmares that got better. "I'll try," she whispered. "I'll try to trust you. That's all I'm asking." An hour later, Jun's men brought in the photographer. Not roughly, just firmly. The man was clearly terrified. Jun spoke to him in a voice so cold Amara shivered. "Who hired you?"
I'm just a PI, man.
"I don't want trouble." "Then answer the question."
Who hired you?
"Derek Matthews. Guy from Atlanta. Said his girlfriend ran away. He just wants to find her." Jun's expression didn't change, but something in the air shifted. Became dangerous. "Give me your phone. All your photos. Everything you collected." The PI handed it over fast. Jun scrolled through, then looked at Amara. "Is this everything Derek knows? Just that you're in Chicago?" She nodded, unable to speak. Jun turned back to the investigator. "Here's what's going to happen. You're going to call Derek Matthews. You're going to tell him you searched Chicago thoroughly and found nothing.
Dead end.
Then you're going to refuse any further work from him. If I find out you contacted him again, if I find out you told anyone about this conversation, you'll regret it. Are we clear?" "Crystal." "Get out." The man practically ran. Amara stared at Jun. He's not going to stop. Derek doesn't stop. He's obsessive. He'll just hire someone else. "I know."
Yun sat down beside her.
"Which is why we're going to send Derek a message he can't ignore." Derek got the message. 3 days later, Derek showed up in Chicago. Jun's surveillance team spotted him the moment he checked into a hotel downtown. Jun watched the footage with cold calculation, then called Amara into his office. "He's here. In Chicago." Amara's face went pale. "How did he?" "Doesn't matter. What matters is what we do next." Jun pulled up Derek's photo on his screen. "I can make him disappear.
Permanently.
One word, and he's gone. You'll never have to worry about him again."
No.
Amara's voice shook but was firm. "I don't want that on my conscience. I don't want you to become a killer because of me. I've killed before, Amara. For less." Jun said it matter-of-factly, like discussing the weather. "But if you don't want that, we do it another way. We break him. Make him realize you're not his anymore and never will be again."
How?
"By showing him exactly who he's dealing with." Jun stood, buttoned his suit jacket. "He's going to come here. To this building. He'll try to see you. And when he does, I'll be waiting." Jun was right. Derek showed up that evening, striding into the lobby like he owned it. Confident. Arrogant. The doorman tried to stop him. "I'm here to see Amara Thompson. She's my girlfriend. She's been sick, not thinking clearly. I'm taking her home." "Sir, I can't let you up without resident permission. Then call her. Tell her Derek's here. Jun appeared from the elevator, flanked by two men in dark suits. He moved with predatory grace, and Derek's confidence faltered slightly when he saw him. You must be Derek Matthews, Jun said, his voice pleasant but his eyes deadly.
I'm Jun Kang.
Amara's neighbor. And friend. Derek sized him up, then smirked. Look, man, I don't know what she told you, but Amara's confused. We had a fight. She ran off. This doesn't concern you. It concerns me the moment you showed up at my building harassing my residents.
Jun moved closer.
Amara doesn't want to see you. She's asked you to leave her alone. I suggest you respect that. Or what? Derek stepped forward, trying to intimidate. He was tall, athletic, used to using his size to control people. You'll fight me? Over some bitch who? Jun moved faster than Amara had ever seen anyone move. 1 second Derek was talking, the next he was slammed against the lobby wall, Jun's forearm across his throat, cutting off his air. Call her that again, Jun whispered, his voice terrifyingly calm.
Please.
Give me a reason. Derek struggled, couldn't break free. Jun's men moved to block the view from the street. You don't know who you're messing with, Derek choked out. I have friends. Resources. You have nothing. Jun released him slightly, just enough to let him breathe. You're a middle management tech worker with delusions of power. I know everything about you, Derek. Your salary, your debts, your little side hustle embezzling from your company. I know about the other women you've hit. I know about your mother in the nursing home whose care you pay for. I know everything. Derek's eyes widened. You can't. I can. And I will. You have two options. Option 1. You leave Chicago tonight. You stop looking for Amara. You move on with your pathetic life. If you do that, your secrets stay secret. Your mother stays in her nice facility. You get to keep pretending you're a decent human being. And option 2? Jun's smile was arctic. Option 2, I destroy you. Your company gets an anonymous tip about the embezzlement. Police get evidence about the assaults. Your mother gets moved to state care. And you.
Jun leaned closer.
You disappear. Not killed. Worse. You become nothing. No job.
No piedasjen.
No one will hire you or help you. Just a broken man living in his car, wondering where it all went wrong. Derek tried to swing at him. Jun caught his fist effortlessly, twisted it behind his back, and slammed him face first into the wall. Derek's nose crunched, blood spattering on the marble. Option 3, Jun said softly. You try to fight me, and I show you what real violence looks like. The kind you've been dishing out to women who can't fight back. How's it feel, Derek? Being on this side of it. Please, Derek gasped, genuine fear finally breaking through his arrogance. Please, I'll go. I'll leave.
Not yet.
First, you're going to see her. You're going to apologize. And you're going to listen when she tells you it's over. Jun pulled him upright, blood streaming from his broken nose. And if you ever try to contact her again, I'll make sure option 3 becomes reality. Understand? Derek nodded frantically. Jun dragged him to the elevator. His men followed. They rode up in silence, Derek pressing his shirt to his bleeding nose, Jun standing completely calm like he hadn't just brutalized someone. At the 20th floor, Jun knocked on Amara's door. She opened it, saw Derek, and instinctively stepped back. It's okay, Jun said gently. He's not here to hurt you. He's here to say goodbye. Right, Derek? Derek looked at Amara, and for the first time in 2 years, she saw real fear in his eyes. Not of her, of Jun, of consequences. Amara, Derek's voice cracked. I'm sorry. For everything. I know I hurt you. I know I was wrong. You almost killed me, Amara said, her voice steady despite her racing heart. Multiple times. You made me afraid to exist in my own skin.
I know. I'm sick.
I need help. Derek was crying now, pathetic and broken. Please tell him to let me go. Please. Amara looked at Jun, then back at Derek. I'm not telling him anything. This is between you and him. But I will tell you this. If you ever try to find me again, if you ever show up in my life, I won't stop him next time. I'll let him do whatever he wants to you. Are we clear? Derek nodded, sobbing. Say it. Amara commanded, feeling power she'd never felt before. Say you'll never contact me again. I'll never contact you again.
I swear.
I swear on my mother's life. Good. Amara stepped back into her apartment. Get him out of here, Jun. I don't want to see his face ever again. Jun nodded, then looked at his men. Take him to the airport. Put him on the next flight to Atlanta. Watch him get on the plane. And Derek? If you're still in Chicago in 3 hours, I'll know. And option 3 becomes reality. They dragged Derek away, his sobs echoing down the hallway. Jun stayed, looking at Amara with concern. Are you okay? Amara was shaking, but not from fear. From relief. From the weight lifting off her shoulders. Is it really over? It's over. My people will monitor him. If he so much as Googles your name, I'll know. But I don't think he will. He's too scared. And Derek Matthews is, at his core, a coward who only hurts people weaker than him. He's met someone stronger now. He won't forget that. Amara laughed, surprising herself. Then she started crying. Then laughing and crying at the same time. Jun pulled her into his arms, let her fall apart, held her together. You broke his nose, she said into his chest. I wanted to break more. But you said no killing. I'm a man of my word. She pulled back to look at him. Who are you really, Jun Kang? I'm someone who's seen too much violence and learned to use it to protect people who can't protect themselves. I'm someone who lost a sister and swore never to be powerless again. I'm someone who looked at you and saw someone worth protecting. He cupped her face gently. And I'm someone who's falling in love with you, which probably makes me stupid because you're going to leave the second you feel safe enough. What if I don't want to leave? Then you stay. But not because you're afraid or because you owe me. You stay because you choose to. Because you want to build something here. With me. Amara thought about Atlanta. About her old life. About running and hiding and being afraid. Then she thought about the past month. About soup outside her door. About nightmares that got better. About a man who'd used his power not to control her, but to free her. I want to stay, she said. But Jun, I need to be able to stand on my own. I need to be strong enough that I don't need you to save me. You've always been strong. You survived, Derek. You escaped. You rebuilt your life in a new city. All of that was you, Amara. I just made sure he didn't drag you back down.
Jonas ham brysthetik.
But if you want to be stronger, I'll help. Self-defense classes. Whatever you need. I'll give you tools, not just protection. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me you'll never hit me. Never control me. Never make me afraid of you. Jun's face went serious. I promise. On Sujin's memory. I would rather die than become like the man who killed her. Like Derek. You're not my possession, Amara. You're my partner. If you'll have me. She kissed him. Finally let herself feel what she'd been pushing away for weeks. The attraction.
The trust.
The possibility of something real. When they pulled apart, Jun was smiling. Does this mean you'll move into the penthouse with me? Eventually. Maybe. Let me work up to it. She laughed. I've been independent for exactly 6 weeks. Don't rush me.
Fair.
I can be patient. 3 months later, Amara was working from Jun's apartment more often than her own. He'd taught her basic self-defense. Introduced her to his legitimate business contacts, helping her build her freelance design career. They fought sometimes normal relationship arguments about dishes and schedules and boundaries. But they always talked it through. Always resolved it. Derek had quit his job in Atlanta, moved to Phoenix, and hadn't contacted her once. Jun's people confirmed he was in therapy, trying to deal with his issues. Amara hoped he'd change, though she'd never verified herself. She was done looking back. One evening, Jun took her to a private shooting range he owned. Set up targets. Taught her to hold a gun properly. I don't want to shoot people, she protested. You probably never will. but knowing you can, that changes how you move through the world. He handed her the weapon, stood behind her, adjusted her stance. The first target has words on it. Read them. Amara looked.
Fear. Doubt. Past.
Shoot them, Jun whispered in her ear. Destroy them. She fired. Once.
Twice.
3 times. Each bullet hitting the target, tearing through the words. With each shot, something inside her released. The last chains Derek had wrapped around her spirit finally breaking. When the magazine was empty, she was crying and laughing at the same time. Jun took the gun, set it down, turned her to face him. You're free, Amara. Really free. Not because I saved you. Because you saved yourself. I just made sure you survived long enough to do it. She kissed him hard. Take me home. Your place or mine? Ours, she said. I'm ready. I want to move in with you. Not because I need protection. Because I want to build a life with you. Jun pulled a key from his pocket, held it out. I've been carrying this for 2 weeks, waiting for you to be ready. She took it, felt the weight of choice. Of freedom. Of future. Before we end this incredible journey, hit that like button if you're as emotional as I am right now. Comment below and tell me what you thought of Amara and Jun's story. Would you have trusted Jun? Could you have been as strong as Amara? And subscribe because we've got more intense cross-cultural love stories coming that'll have you feeling all the feelings. Remember, real strength isn't never being afraid. It's choosing to fight for yourself even when you're terrified. That night, in Jun's penthouse overlooking Chicago, Amara stood at the floor-to-ceiling windows watching the city lights. Jun came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. Any regrets? He asked. About Derek?
No.
About running?
No.
About you? She turned in his arms. Never. I love you, Jun said. I know it's fast. I know we have things to work through, but I love you. I love you too. And you're right, it's fast. It's probably crazy, but we're both a little broken, and somehow our broken pieces fit together. We're not broken. We're survivors. There's a difference. Amara thought about that, about survival and strength and finding safety in unexpected places. About a Korean man who'd lost his sister and an African-American woman who'd lost herself, both finding each other in a Chicago high-rise. Yeah, she said, smiling. Survivors. I like that better. They stood there together, 2 people who'd been through hell and found each other on the other side. The past didn't disappear. The trauma didn't vanish. But they had each other. They had safety. They had choice. And for the first time in years, Amara looked at the future and felt hope instead of fear. That was enough. More than enough. It was everything.